Brazil banned Twitter. Russia has banned Twitter. China has banned Twitter. Countries ganging up on free speech. This is not being done for no reason. It's being done because the people who are running the societal institutions and the government in nearly every country now is deathly terrified of their own population and of their own population finding out what's going on. You censor free speech when you want to get away with stuff that you don't want people to know about, that you don't want people complaining about, that you don't want people having too much of an idea about what's going on so that they might cause problems and throw sand in the gears of all your nefarious plans, which means you need to be taking action right now. So really what's going on in Brazil at this stage is Brazil is no longer a sovereign nation. Brazil is having its strings pulled by forces outside of its own control, and you have to assume that all quote-unquote so-called democratic processes are riddled with fraud of some kind. And so it's not far-fetched that a place like Brazil would cancel free speech. These Latin American countries are notorious for flipping pretty much overnight into real nightmare scenarios. You see this in Mexico, you see it in Argentina with the currency collapse in 2001. Colombia was a basket case for decades. Venezuela still is. All of the various portions of Latin America have had their very, very serious problems. And the idea that what is happening in Brazil is somehow unprecedented or, gee, we couldn't have seen that coming is, of course, very short-sighted. It means you don't know anything about history. But the fact that the government is able to pull it off. In the first place, Brazil's top judge, this De Moraes is his name, is, at least by one source, considered the second most powerful man in the country. De Moraes suggested that anybody using a VPN to get around the geo-blocking software that prevents you from using X inside Brazil can earn you a fine of $9,000 per day. No regular person is going to be able to afford a $9,000 per day fine, so you can tweet out cat video. And so they're serious about cutting off and censoring free speech. And the censorship is ramping up. That it is hitting populations as big as Brazil, which has roughly 200 million people, is a sign that whatever crescendo is coming. Because when you take away free speech from people, you're going to see all kinds of repercussions. People don't like being told that they can't speak freely, which means governments are going to have to use a lot of force in order to enforce that kind of draconian restraint on people's natural inclination to say what they believe is true. And if you're a government, you can only do that for so long. So you implement censorship on free speech so that you can get away with it long enough to do whatever it is that they're trying to do. And I think what they're trying to do, obviously, is implement a greater control grid using technology, and the extent to which technology allows blanket tracking and coverage and censorship and recording and spying and surveillance and all the rest means that there really is no place to hide. There really is no place for a regular person to be left alone and live unmolested by the worst elements of society. People think of robbers and rapists, that this is somehow the worst part of society. And that's true, but those people do very little harm by comparison to the criminal element that is running the state. And when criminals take over the state, which is what you have now in almost every country, they're greatly enthused by the development of technological tools that allow them to impose their will on regular people. And so the world is looking at a very, very dark time. Most people don't know this, but in ancient Greek mythology, the god techne, whence comes the word technology, the god techne would give gifts to humanity, i.e. technology, and in return, humanity had to give up some ability that men and women possessed. And with the advent of AI and the don't learn anything because computers can do it better attitude that you see, it's breaking people, it's breaking the human spirit, it's breaking the ability of people just to navigate their own daily lives in a way and to a degree where it's almost as if there's a collective throwing up of hands and, okay, well, we can't do anything about it anyway, so let's just submit. Don't do that. Continue to work toward your own ability to say what you want and be free in the way you want. Create the kind of community and the kind of networks that allow you to talk and live in the real world, not just online. The online world will increasingly become extremely regulated, surveilled, and controlled. And the journey toward the 100% total control of the internet is well advanced. At some point, you will need a chip implanted into your body somewhere just to be online. Everything you say, everything you read, everything you watch, everything you do, everything you buy, everything you transact will all be recorded. And then some asshole running a government database will be able to turn your algorithm up or down to allow you to live or not live according to what he or she seems fit. It's not a future that any regular person is looking at with any kind of glee, and yet the scumbags running the governments of the world are absolutely thrilled at the possibility that this could be a reality in their lifetime. And so what should you do? To me, the number one threat to your well-being, your security, your future prosperity and wealth is your home government. The single best thing you can do is take a little bit of time to develop diversify yourself throughout enough different legal jurisdictions that no single jurisdiction has enough power to completely and totally ruin your life. It's variously called flag theory or the creation of a plan B. A plan B is not about selling everything you own and running off and living in a bomb shelter. A plan B is something that complements your plan A. Whatever you're doing now is your plan A. You want optionality that allows you to continue to live your plan A, and the plan B is there in case the door closes and you got to go through the window. And so plan B thinking is not something for nutters and preppers and people who are worried about the sky falling. Plan B makes all the sense in the world right now. And if you don't have one and you want to know how to get one, I put together a great coaching group. It's part coaching group, part mastermind. It's called the X-Plan Community. Right now, you can join the X-Plan Community for just $1. Click below to get all the details. Instead of passively obeying the lunatic decisions by cognitively impaired political hacks, we're building a future where international diversification ensures our freedom and prosperity. You'll get easy access to resources and contacts to help you structure your own international lifestyle, including how you protect your money outside the US banking system, how to quickly get legal documents that allow you and your family to enter a friendly, welcoming, peaceful jurisdiction when trouble hits North America, where to invest in top-tier income-producing real estate, and much more. If you decide you want the convenience of private consulting, we offer that option too, but at a tiny fraction of what other so-called experts are charging. So you don't have to break the bank trying to protect your family and preserve your wealth in the chaos of the 2020s. Click below to get all the details and join the X-Plan community for just $1, and I'll see you on the inside. If that's something that appeals to you, there's a link below this video. Check it out, please. Thanks very much, and remember, your freedom begins the moment you realize nobody's coming to save you. I'll be back with more great stuff. Thanks.